Welcome team to another great, inspiring and eye-catching video. In this video, we're talking about the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo. This amazing athlete has undergone a remarkable evolution throughout his basketball career. Giannis was born in Greece to Nigerian parents and grew up playing basketball with his four brothers on the streets of Athens. Here's a timeline of his journey to becoming one of the NBA's brightest stars. But if you haven't been to our channel before, this is where we delve into incredible sports stories from around the world, offering unique insights into players and teams that often go unnoticed. If you're new here, consider liking and subscribing so we can continue bringing you exciting content and captivating stories to enjoy. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the evolution of the Greek freak. The year 2012. Giannis Antetokounmpo was still very early in his basketball career, and he was playing for Philathlitikos, a Greek professional basketball club in Greece. However, even at that young age, it was clear that he had the potential to be a special player. One of the areas in which Giannis evolved during this time was in his shooting. In fact, in his early years, he struggled with his outside shot, but he worked tirelessly to improve his form and accuracy. He would spend countless hours in the gym, practicing his shooting mechanics and working on his shot from different spots on the floor. Another area in which Giannis evolved during this time was in his ball handling. As a young player, he was still learning how to handle the ball effectively and make plays for his teammates. However, he had great natural instincts and was willing to put in the work to improve his ball handling skills. He spent time practicing dribbling drills and working on his ability to create off the dribble, which would later become one of his greatest strengths as a player. In addition to his skills on the court, Giannis also evolved in his mindset and approach to the game. He became more focused and disciplined, dedicating himself to his training and working tirelessly to improve his skills. He also developed a greater understanding of the game and how to use his size and athleticism to his advantage. Giannis' evolution in 2012 was just the beginning of what would be a long and impressive journey. 2013. In 2013, Giannis was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks with the 15th overall pick in the NBA draft. This was a major turning point in his career, as he would now have the opportunity to play against some of the best players in the world and showcase his skills on the biggest stage. One of the areas in which Giannis evolved during this time was in his strength and conditioning. He was still very young and inexperienced, and he needed to build up his body in order to compete at the NBA level. He spent hours in the weight room, working on his strength and explosiveness, and he also worked with trainers to improve his conditioning and endurance. Another area in which Giannis evolved in 2013 was in his understanding of the game. He was still learning the nuances of the NBA and how to play against elite competition, but he had a great basketball IQ and a willingness to learn. He studied film, analyzed the strategies and tactics of other players, and worked on his own skills and techniques to become a more complete player. Giannis also continued to refine his shooting and ball handling skills during this time. He knew that these were areas in which he needed to improve in order to become a more well-rounded player, and he worked tirelessly to develop his form and accuracy. He also worked on his footwork and his ability to create space for himself on the court, which would later become key elements of his game. But he needed to refine his skills and adapt to the NBA game in order to reach his full potential. 2014. Giannis Antetokounmpo continued to evolve and develop as an NBA player. He'd already made great strides in his first year with the Bucks, but he knew that there was still much more work to be done. One area in which Giannis evolved during this time was his defensive skills. He'd already shown flashes of brilliance on the defensive end of the court, but he worked hard to become a more consistent and impactful defender. He studied the tendencies of other players, learned how to read the flow of the game, and honed his defensive positioning and footwork. As a result, he became one of the most disruptive defenders in the league, known for his ability to block shots, steal the ball, and shut down opposing players. Another area in which Giannis evolved was in his leadership skills. As a young player, he was still finding his voice on the court and learning how to lead his team. However, he had a natural charisma and a strong work ethic, and he quickly emerged as a leader for the Bucks. He set an example with his tireless work ethic and his willingness to put the team first, and he was always willing to lend a helping hand to his teammates. Finally, Giannis continued to refine his offensive skills during this time. He worked on his shooting mechanics and his shot selection, becoming more accurate and effective from all areas of the court. In that season, which was Giannis' second year in the NBA, he averaged 12.7 points per game. However, it's important to note that Giannis' impact on the court went far beyond his scoring. He also averaged 6.7 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and 1.0 blocks per game, demonstrating his versatility and ability to contribute in multiple areas of the game. 2015. He improves and makes strides in his game. He increased his scoring average to 16.9 points per game while adding 7.7 rebounds, 4.3 assists, and 1.2 blocks per game. He became a more complete player on both ends of the court, and his talent and potential were becoming more apparent with each game. One area in which Giannis evolved during this time was in his aggressiveness on the court. He'd always been a skilled and versatile player, but he had begun to assert himself more aggressively on the offensive end, attacking the rim with ferocity and intensity. He was able to use his length and athleticism to overpower defenders and finish with authority, earning a reputation as one of the most exciting young players in the league. Another area in which Giannis evolved was in his leadership. He'd already established himself as a leader on the team, but he continued to grow and develop in this role. He became more vocal and assertive, setting an example for his teammates with his work ethic and his positive attitude. He also became more involved in team meetings and discussions, offering his insights and ideas on how to improve the team's performance. Finally, Giannis continued to refine his defensive skills during this time. He was already a dominant defender, but he worked hard to become even better. He studied the tendencies of opposing players, learning how to anticipate their moves, and worked on his footwork and positioning to shut down their scoring opportunities. As a result, he became one of the most feared defenders in the league, earning a reputation as a game changer on the defensive end. 2016. In 2016, Giannis Antetokounmpo continued to evolve and make strides in his game. And one notable aspect of this evolution was his physical transformation. Giannis had always been a physically gifted player with his long arms, quick feet, and explosive athleticism. But in 2016, he began to focus even more on his physical development, and it showed on the court. One of the most notable changes in Giannis' body was his increased muscle mass. He worked hard in the weight room, adding lean muscle to his frame, and he looked noticeably stronger and more imposing on the court. This extra strength allowed him to absorb contact more effectively, and he became even more of a force in the paint, attacking the rim with even more ferocity. Another change in Giannis' body was his increased height. Although he was already known for his towering presence on the court, he actually grew about an inch between his rookie season and the 2016-17 season, reaching a height of 6 foot 11 inches. This added height gave him even more of an advantage over his opponents, as he was able to see over defenders and make plays that other players simply couldn't. In addition to his physical changes, Giannis continued to refine his game in 2016. He increased his scoring average to 22.9 points per game, while also contributing 8.8 rebounds, 5.4 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1.9 blocks per game. He became one of the most dominant players in the league, earning his first All-Star selection and establishing himself as a rising superstar. 2017. In 2017, Giannis continued to develop his game and establish himself as one of the most dominant players in the league. He had increased his scoring average to 22.9 points per game, 8.8 rebounds, 5.4 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1.9 blocks per game. His all-around skills and incredible athleticism made him a force to be reckoned with on both ends of the court. Offensively, Giannis was a nightmare for defenders to handle. His combination of size, speed, and skill made him nearly unstoppable, as he could score from anywhere on the court. He was a master at attacking the rim, using his long strides and explosive leaping ability to finish with authority at the basket. He was also an effective mid-range shooter and a solid three-point shooter, adding another dimension to his already impressive game. Defensively, Giannis was just as formidable. His incredible length and quickness made him a lockdown defender, as he could guard multiple positions and disrupt passing lanes with his long arms. He was also an excellent shot blocker, using his height and timing to swat away shots at the rim. One of the most impressive aspects of Giannis' game in 2017 was his ability to lead his team. He He had become the face of the Milwaukee Bucks, and he embraced that role with gusto. He was a vocal leader on the court, encouraging his teammates and pushing them to give their all on every possession. 2018. In 2018, Giannis Antetokounmpo took his game to another level, further solidifying his status as one of the most dominant players in the league. He continued to improve his all-around game, and he led the Milwaukee Bucks to their best season in years. Offensively, Giannis was simply unstoppable. He averaged a career-high 26.9 points per game, while also contributing 10 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1.4 blocks per game. He was a force to be reckoned with at the rim, using his incredible athleticism and length to finish over defenders with ease. He also continued to improve his shooting, becoming a more consistent threat from mid-range and beyond the arc. Defensively, Giannis was even more dominant than ever before. He was named to the NBA All-Defensive First Team for the first time in his career, thanks to his incredible ability to guard multiple positions and disrupt the opposition's offensive flow. He averaged a career-high 1.5 steals and 1.4 blocks per game, using his length and quickness to pounce on loose balls and challenge shots at the rim. Thanks in large part to Giannis' incredible play, the Milwaukee Bucks finished the regular season with a record of 60-22, the best mark in the Eastern Conference. They advanced to the playoffs for the first time in 2 years, and they were considered one of the favorites to win the NBA championship, but his time was still yet to come. But he made sure every team knew that he was coming and he wasn't going to hold back. 2019. Giannis had a significant year in 2019, both in terms of his game development and his personal life. On the court, Antetokounmpo established himself as one of the best players in the NBA. In the 2018-19 season, he won the NBA MVP award, averaging 27.7 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game, while leading the Milwaukee Bucks to the best record in the league. He continued his dominant play in the playoffs, leading the Bucks to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they were ultimately defeated by the Toronto Raptors in 6 games. Off the court, Antetokounmpo became a father for the second time in 2019. He and his girlfriend, Maria Riddlespringer, welcomed their second child, Liam Charles Antetokounmpo, in February of that year. Antetokounmpo had spoken about how fatherhood had changed him and how he is motivated to provide for his family. In terms of his game development, Antetokounmpo continued to work on his outside shooting and ball handling skills in 2019. He shot a career-high 25.6% from three-point range that season, a significant improvement over his previous seasons. He also improved his ability to create his own shot off the dribble, making him an even more dangerous scorer and playmaker. Overall, 2019 was a big year for Giannis Antetokounmpo both on and off the court, as he established himself as one of the NBA's elite players while also expanding his family and personal life. 2020. On the court, Antetokounmpo won his second consecutive NBA MVP award, becoming just the third player in league history to win the award in consecutive seasons before the age of 26. The other two players were LeBron James and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He averaged 29.5 points, 13.6 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game, leading the Milwaukee Bucks to the best record in the league for the second straight year. However, the 2020 playoffs didn't go as well for Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. The Miami Heat defeated the Bucks in the Eastern Conference semifinals, marking the second straight year that the Bucks fell short of the NBA Finals despite their regular season success. Off the court, Antetokounmpo continued to be a vocal advocate for social justice causes. He participated in the protests following the police shooting of Jacob Blake in his home state of Wisconsin and used his platform to speak out against racial injustice. In addition, Antetokounmpo became a father for the third time in 2020. He and his girlfriend Maria Riddlespringer welcomed their third child in September of that year. 2021. In 2021, Giannis continued to evolve and establish himself as one of the best players in the NBA. Giannis won his first NBA championship with the Bucks. He was named the NBA Finals MVP after averaging 35.2 points, 13.2 rebounds, and 5.0 assists per game in the finals, including a legendary 50-point performance in the closeout Game 6. Antetokounmpo's dominant play throughout the playoffs and especially in the finals cemented his status as one of the best players in the game and one of the greatest playoff performers of all time. Giannis has continued to evolve and expand his skill set. He has improved his outside shooting, hitting a career-high 30.3% from three-point range in the regular season and 34.7% in the playoffs. He has also continued to develop his playmaking ability, averaging a career-high 5.9 assists per game in the regular season and 5.0 assists per game in the playoffs. Giannis' evolution as a player has been marked by his ability to add new elements to his game each season. He has developed a reliable outside shot, improving his ball handling and becoming a better passer and defender. But what truly sets Giannis apart is his combination of size, speed, and athleticism. At 6'11" and with a 7'3" wingspan, he is a matchup nightmare for any defender, and his ability to handle the ball and make plays from the perimeter make him almost unstoppable on the offensive end. Off the court, Giannis is known for his humble and hard-working demeanor. He's beloved by Bucks fans and respected by players and coaches throughout the league. His journey from a skinny kid playing basketball on the streets of Athens to an NBA champion and two-time MVP is a testament to his talent, dedication, and perseverance. Giannis' impact on the game of basketball extends beyond his individual accomplishments. He has become a symbol of hope and inspiration for people around the world, particularly those who come from underprivileged backgrounds or face obstacles in pursuing their dreams. His story of overcoming adversity and achieving success through hard work and perseverance has inspired countless young players and fans. Looking ahead, Giannis has the potential to continue evolving and improving as a player. If he can continue to add new elements to his game and stay healthy, he could be a dominant force in the NBA for years to come. What do you guys think of this incredible player? Comment below, we will love your feedback. Well then, that comes to an end to our video. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing this story and hope you learned something today as well. See you guys in the next exciting video.